Well, you can wait, you can wonder, you can even assume you will know exactly what to do if and when the unpredictable happens. But when it comes to protecting the public and preventing pure disaster, being prepared for any and all situations is nothing to play around with. So that is why the Newport News Fire Department goes to great lengths, day in and day out, around the clock and throughout the year, by putting their men and women through rigorous training on land and, surprisingly enough, underneath the water, as the Marine Incident Response Team recently took the plunge at the Britingham Midtown Community Center pool for some never-seen-before training that looks to keep our firefighters safe when working in and around the water.
Today, we're going to do instruction on what will happen, how a firefighter can prevent what could be a catastrophic accident. They're working an incident adjacent to or near the water, and they fall in the water with their personal protective equipment. We all know training is important because it prepares you for an emergency situation where you already have in your mind a way to deal with it.
I love diving, that's why I got on the team. Training is always a good environment because you put the gear on the same way every time, and when a call comes in, you don't really have to think about it. So training's a good way just to get your head straight for the real environment.
The gear, you feel this, just like this level of shelter because you know, and we've all practiced to get to this point. We've been in burn buildings, so there's a level of comfort there. Once you get around the water, if you don't plan, if you don't know what's going to happen, the gear itself can be a hindrance.
Today we're utilizing the Newport News Midtown Community Pool to train firefighters to waterproof themselves in their fire turnout gear. This training is extremely important because it gives the firefighters a way out should they find themselves in the water in a panic situation.
Scenario number one is where Chaz was in turnout gear without an SCBA bottle. So he had no flotation whatsoever. As soon as he went in the water, he could probably stay afloat 5 to 10 minutes as long as he remained calm, didn't thrash around. As soon as he started thrashing, his boots filled with water, lost their air pocket, and he began to sink. I've got an extra bottle on my back that's just solely for Chaz. So as soon as his head comes beneath the surface, I put a regulator in his mouth so he's able to breathe, and I swim him back to the side of the pool. Safety is paramount. Every time we have training, we have a safety briefing on whose positions are doing what. Anytime you go into a real event, you have safeties built into it. Anytime we have a diver in the water, he's either tethered to the surface or there's another diver with him, and there's also other divers on standby on the surface in case the signal comes out that the diver needs emergency. Scenario number two is where Chaz came in turnout gear and an SCBA. So he was in his full structural firefighting PPE.
Total, I want to say that the gear weighs about 40 pounds, so I'm carrying that around. Now when we jump in for the first time and I'm dry, obviously it's very easy to walk around. You don't really notice the 40 pounds so much. The second you hit the water, that changes, and you start feeling it soaking up the water and filling up your boots, and you have to remember to stay calm.
The bottle is a composite bottle. It's not made of any metals, so it provides flotation. Chaz would actually have to work to get to the bottom of the pool with that flotation on him. So what we're trying to instill is, if you have your bottle on, keep your bottle on. Don't try to take anything off because your bottle's going to keep you above the surface. Scenario number three is the worst case scenario if you have your turnout gear and your SCBA on and your mask on, is when you flood your mask. And this is something we do as divers all the time, is mask clearing. And this is to show that you can clear your SCBA mask underwater utilizing the bypass valve to blow all the water out of your mask and replace it with air, and you can continue to breathe normally after you've done that, if for some chance your mask has come loose and filled with water underneath the surface. These scenarios are special situations where you would be involved in a building on a pier or a boat fire, if you were around any type of body of water, or even in a high-rise building with an elevator shaft that could fill with water. Nobody plans on falling in the water in turnout gear. You know, drowning is the least thing from your mind in a fire.
To help somebody else is probably the greatest feeling in the world. Every now and then we get to help another firefighter. If I can do that, and that meant that I had to put that on today, then by all means. It was worth it.